Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a pretty wild 1988 lecture that starts with a simple productivity hack and ends up spanning the entire cosmos. It's called The Principle of Salvation, and it tries to connect our smallest daily inventions to a grand universal design. So, the speaker kicks things off not with some deep philosophical idea, but with a question he gets asked all the time. How in the world did you manage to publish 42 books in just a few years? He even jokes that he's expecting an investigative journalist to show up at his door. But he says the answer is actually surprisingly simple. And his secret? It isn't some kind of spiritual power or magic. Nope. It's pure, practical ingenuity, a specific method he came up with to write books at an incredible speed.
Okay, so here's how it works. And it's actually genius in its simplicity. First, he builds a really detailed structure for all the chapters. Then, and this is key, he writes out all the subheadings for every single chapter. After that, he just records himself speaking on each subheading, one by one, like he's giving a lecture. And because the structure is so solid, the transcript of that speech becomes the final manuscript with almost no editing needed.
But here's the thing. This isn't just about writing books fast. The speaker really hammers this point home. This method is a product of human ingenuity right here on Earth. He believes that this constant drive we have for daily discovery and invention, just finding better ways to do things, is the absolute key to a happy and fulfilling life. And so he takes this central idea of ingenuity and applies it to something much bigger, his organization's spiritual mission. He argues that you can't just keep repeating the same old methods forever because they just won't work in the modern world. He has this great analogy for the old methods. He says they're like Kintaro ame. That's a Japanese candy where you see the exact same face no matter where you slice it. It's a stagnant, one-size-fits-all approach. But what we need, he says, are hundreds of new methods, each one tailored to different people. Office workers, students, you name it. And this is where the lecture takes a huge turn. He's established how important human invention is, but now he asks a much, much bigger question. Where does this drive even come from? What's the fundamental blueprint for our existence that makes this creativity so important? His answer is pretty profound. He suggests that the entire universe, everything we see, everything we are, is built on three foundational inventions by a divine consciousness. And our own little acts of ingenuity, well, they're just echoes of these massive cosmic acts of creation. So invention number one is the big one, the principle that thought can literally create existence. It's the power to bring entire worlds, beings, and all of reality into existence just through consciousness. It's the ultimate I think, therefore it is for the whole cosmos. But, a static creation would be pretty boring. It'd be like a single, unchanging photograph. So the second great invention is time. Time is what allows everything to move, to change, to learn, and to evolve. It's what turns that cosmic photograph into a movie. Okay, so you've got a movie, but what's the plot? Where's it all headed? That's the third invention, a goal. And that goal is the universal pursuit of happiness, prosperity, and infinite progress. It's the engine pushing everything in the universe towards something better. So we've got these three cosmic principles, and to show us how they actually work, the speaker zooms way, way out to a perspective on life that is truly mind-bending. Get this. He claims souls don't just reincarnate here on Earth. They live on all kinds of different planets, each with its own time cycle, all designed to teach specific lessons. Can you imagine living on a planet where a year is only 50 days long? You'd have to master problem-solving at lightning speed. Or one where a year lasts 1,000 days, which would teach you a kind of patience we can barely fathom. It's a cosmic education system. And it's not just time that gets tweaked. His lecture claims that even things like social structures are designed for learning. For instance, a soul that needs to learn about power and humility might be born onto a world where the gender ratio is intentionally skewed, say to 90% men and 10% women, to correct an imbalance from a past life. And the scale just keeps getting bigger, almost impossible to wrap your head around. He says that even entire planets have a consciousness, and that they also have a reincarnation cycle. The average length of that cycle? About 150 billion years. A planet dies, becomes a tiny seed, and is eventually reborn as a completely new world.
Okay, so we've gone from a productivity hack all the way to reincarnating planets. How does this massive cosmic theory actually connect back to you and me and to the lecture's title, The Principle of Salvation?
Well, here's the payoff. The speaker concludes that salvation, or living a truly purposeful life, comes from living with a deep gratitude for those three foundational inventions. First, gratitude that you exist at all, that you're a willed creation, not just some random accident. Second, gratitude for time. Your lifespan is a gift, an opportunity to grow. And third, gratitude for the goal, knowing that the universe is fundamentally designed for progress and happiness, not chaos.
And when you look at it that way, it changes your whole purpose. The goal isn't just about survival for one person or one nation. It's about aiming for infinite harmony and progress within infinite diversity. Our personal ingenuity, our little inventions are meant to be a part of that massive collective project. So the lecture really leaves us with this final challenging thought. What if your daily struggles, your small acts of creativity, your entire life, what if it's all just one single chapter in a vast, purposeful, and interconnected cosmic story? It's a fascinating way to reframe everything, from how you write a book to how you see your place in the universe. Thanks for joining us.